The economic situation is causing panic at the White House. We have circumstances right now where Donald Trump is trying to figure out, how do I get myself out of this impossible economic situation? As I am recording this segment right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down yet another 800 points. How long can this continue? Well, Trump's getting very desperate. And Trump took to Truth Central, very important platform, of course, and started laying out his frustrations. He builds to the economic stuff, but he starts by talking about the recently deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Let's start there. Trump, quote, "Radical lunatic Democrats and their comrades in the fake news media are falsely making Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia out to be a very sweet and innocent person, which is a total blatant and dangerous lie. Garcia has been found by two separate courts to be a member of the violent killer gang MS-13, was in our country illegally, and is under a deportation order. It is despicable and un-American for liberals and the mainstream media to hate our country so much and be obsessed with protecting criminals instead of working to keep our borders, streets, and families safe. Those lying to the American people on behalf of violent criminals have to be held responsible by the agencies and the courts. Make America great again." So this is Trump's go-to move when his administration is under pressure. Find an immigrant accused of a crime, link them to MS-13, pretend Democrats are holding parades in their honor. Never mind that nobody is saying very sweet and innocent. What we're saying is that even the accused deserve due process. And Trump hates that because due process gets in the way of his political theater. Now, he also calls journalists to be held responsible by agencies and courts for supposedly lying about a deportation case. Understand that that's not law and order. That's authoritarianism. It's punish the press when they say things I don't like. Criminalize speech, criminalize dissent. All right, so then Trump continues into the panicked economic stuff. Quote, "Since our announcement of Liberation Day, many world leaders and business executives have come to me asking for relief from tariffs. It's good to see that the world knows we are serious because we are. They must right the wrongs of decades of abuse, but it won't be easy for them. We must rebuild the wealth of our great country and create true reciprocity. But for those who want the easiest path, come to America, build in America." Even calling April 2nd Liberation Day at this point is vomitous, okay? Especially when we've seen the destruction economically that it has wrought. It's the kind of phrase you slap on a fake holiday in a dystopian novel. He claims world leaders are begging him to lift tariffs, but that's not diplomacy. It's economic hostage taking. Even if Trump is telling the truth, the fact that people are coming and saying, this is terrible, we've got to do something here, that's not the way you deal with issues diplomatically. It's simply economic hostage taking. He wants tribute. That's what he means by reciprocity in Trump speak. You lose and I win. And somehow, I guess, Trump believes tariffs make the country richer, even though every credible economist has debunked this. The tariffs are an import tax on us. Consumers pay it. Business owners pay it. Farmers pay it. But Trump seems to think he's teaching the world a lesson, but we're the ones paying the price. All right. And then Trump continuing with a list of non-tariff cheating that he says other countries do. He says other countries do currency manipulation. They use value-added taxes, which act as tariffs, dumping below cost, export subsidies and government subsidies, protective agricultural standards, protective technical standards like Japan's bowling ball test, counterfeiting, piracy, and IP theft, and transshipping to evade tariffs. Now, some of these points are legitimate. There has been intellectual property theft. Using transshipping to avoid tariffs is a technique that is sometimes used. But lumping all of this stuff together and saying that tariffs are the answer is like getting trade advice from, YouTube conspiracy theorists. He's not wrong that international trade isn't always fair, but Trump's solutions, unilateral blanket tariffs with no strategy and no on-ramp, combined with public tantrums and isolationism, it's not going to fix any of it. It will alienate allies. It will raise prices here in the United States. And the reason that Trump is doing this is because he's spiraling, bouncing from immigrant fear mongering to economic bravado to technical jargon that he doesn't even understand. This is not a vision. This is panic and desperation, because even just as we were talking, the Dow dropped another 50 points. Trump's desperate. His billionaire buddies are coming to him saying, "Sir, with tears in my eyes, I can't have my stock portfolio drop 2 to 3% a day. This isn't sustainable." And Trump doesn't know how to save face and how to get an off ramp from this that isn't completely humiliating, but he's got to try to stop the bleeding. So what does he do? He goes on Troth and he starts saying, everybody's coming to me, begging me for stuff. Let's see where we are another week from now, because the last week has certainly not been good. All right, so we all know Alexa listens to us, recommends products based on our conversations. Meta retargets us based on our browsing and engagement history. Have you wondered what ChatGPT and Claude are up to with your conversations? We feed so much of our information to these AI chatbots, thoughts, dreams, sensitive questions, business ideas. They take the information, tie it to your identity, and they can sell that to third parties and governments. ChatGPT has the former director of the NSA on their board right now. That doesn't feel awesome. It took us a long time to truly understand what social media companies were doing with our data. We don't have to make the same mistake with AI. And that's why I've started using Venice AI, a generative AI platform that is private and permissionless. They don't spy on you. Venice AI won't censor the AI. They have a safe mode, which you can turn off for both text and image generation. Messages are encrypted. Your conversation history is only stored on your browser. I love the Pro plan because I get upgraded features like uploading files, unlimited text prompts. Check it out. If you want to use AI without censorship or fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or the government, go to venice.ai/Pacman and use code Pacman to get 20% off their Pro plan. The link is in the description.